Good morning, class. So today we are going to be talking about the importance of effective teaching. I just want you to think about this for a minute. Alex, will you read just the first sentence?
Class doesn't start until the teacher walks into the classroom and begins teaching.
Do you believe that that's true?
Yeah.
Do you believe that the class doesn't start until the teacher begins teaching? Or do you believe that just sitting in class you're able to come up with how you should be learning certain things and
I think
all of that? Yes?
I think that that's true because like when you're in the classroom and you're sitting down, it's like you're not really doing anything, and like if you're just doing worksheets, you're not gonna really think about anything except for the answer.
Exactly.
Like really, when I did worksheets, all I thought about was like how fast can I get this done, and then what else do I need to do. But really, like if the teacher gets up and teaches,
Yeah.
you're not doing anything. You're focused on what's supposed to be on the teacher.
Yeah. Very good. I agree with that. I think I believe that once the teacher starts talking, that's when you're able to absorb the knowledge that the teacher's trying to portray. And then it says, what the teacher knows and can do is the most significant factor in student achievement. What do you think about that? Any thoughts on the second sentence?
Teacher knows.
So I take that as the teacher's ability to teach is the most significant factor in student achievement. A teacher just coming in here, like Alex was saying, and just giving you busy work, you're not going to learn anything. But a teacher who knows the material and knows how to teach you and can do something with the material, that's going to be able to help you, and you're going to be able to achieve in your schooling. So today's outcomes, here's today's outcomes. I wrote them down for you so you have them, and then later your homework will be to write something on the back. So anyway, you can follow along, but by the end of today's lesson, you can identify effective teaching, characteristics, and why it's important to be an effective teacher. You can also identify differences between effective teachers and ineffective teachers. And then I want you to be able to give examples of how you personally can be an effective teacher. Okay, so I want you to watch this video, and I want you to kind of have in mind that the more effective the teacher you are, the more successful your students will be. If it wants to work. Okay. Oh, you can't see it?
The 2016 Chevrolet Trax with
Does anyone know how to do this? On this? Can you see it now? Oh gosh. Any ideas? Can you see anything? Oh no! I don't know what to do. Do you know? Someone help me. I don't know. I really don't.
I'll
I
stop.
don't
I'll
know.
just think.
I don't know what to do.
I'm Alex.
How do you make this work?
No, I know how to do it.
You do?
Yeah, because I had to do this before. I'm trying to remember.
more cargo space than the Nissan Juke.
I think it's contemporary.
Yeah.
Okay, I know how to do this. One second.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, anyway, we'll just go back to that. But now you guys can't see it, so I don't really like this. So we're gonna talk about what the heck? Okay, Alex, it's fine. We'll just talk about an effective teacher versus the ineffective teacher. And the biggest difference between the two is that the ineffective teacher is not doing what effective teachers are doing. And I know that sounds super obvious, because it's just like with anything, if you're being effective, obviously you're not being ineffective. So it's just kind of an obvious thing, but it's true. Effective teachers are doing, or ineffective teachers are not doing what effective teachers are doing. Does that make sense?
Okay.
It's okay. Oh, it's fine. So this is a picture of an effective teacher. Any idea why this might be an effective teacher?
She did need help, I guess not.
I just skipped the video. It wouldn't work. I don't know. So it's okay.
The video wouldn't play?
Yeah, and then the screen shut off. I don't know.
Do you want to watch it?
Maybe after all of it. So any idea why this teacher would be an effective teacher? Yes?
Well, she looks like she has the classes like engagement on
Yeah,
her.
you can see like the kid raising its hand and then the other kid in the back kind of looks
You
like
can
they have
see like all the stuff on the, like everyone knows what's going on, they have like a routine.
a schedule, yeah. It's planned, it's organized.
Looks fun.
It does look fun, which is engaging for the students and it makes them want to come to class and learn. So do you all agree that this would be an effective teacher? Okay. So here are some things that effective teachers do. Let's start with innovative planners. Does anybody know what that means? Yeah.
I feel like that would be like really well planned planners. You know those plans that teachers have, like, or the ones that the kids get every
Mm-hmm.
year. I feel like those, like, they know what they're doing. They always have something.
Yeah.
Kind of, I guess. Maybe.
Yeah. Any other ideas?
We were talking a little bit about this in the other class where there's so many things you have to take into consideration.
Mm-hmm.
Because what the student is thinking about, that's what the student is going to remember.
True.
And there's a story about, I don't know, a teacher made biscuits for the class so that they could know what it was like on the Underground Railroad.
Mm-hmm.
And it was about how the students are probably not going to remember anything about the Underground Railroad, but they're only going to remember the biscuits.
True.
So you have
Yeah.
to be careful on how you present your lesson. You have to plan it carefully so that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other comments on that? Also, by being an innovator, you are able to implement new ideas, new teaching methods, rather than just standing up here and being like, this is your homework, now go. You're getting the kids engaged in different ways, and it's all planned and organized. The second one is exceptional classroom managers. And I think we can all agree that that's definitely a trait that effective teachers would have. The ability for you as a teacher to be able to control your classroom and manage it how you want it to be managed definitely is an obvious thing between an ineffective teacher and an effective teacher. You can see the difference. It's very obvious. Does anybody have any examples of a time when they were in a class that wasn't managed correctly or effectively? Yes?
So, I think that I know that I've been in a classroom like that. I had like a teacher, but it wasn't my regular teacher, it was a substitute. And she just did not know what she was doing. Like everything was written out for her, but I just feel like she didn't know what she was doing, kind of. And so it was hard to do the right thing, because then when they don't know what they're doing, especially if they're substitutes,
Yeah.
and then the teacher comes like, why did my students, we're like a day late now, and we're like trying to explain like, it's not us, it was your teacher, but of course, teacher to teacher, it's always teacher's gonna win, unless you're like one of those teachers that really listens to your students.
Definitely. And I think to go along with that, like when I was in the classroom last week and there was a sub and she just turned on the stereo and all the kids started cleaning up the toys, like that was a cue, and it was a very specific cue that gave all the students a direction to go, and that was a good way for her to manage her class. The next one is critical thinkers. Obviously, as a teacher, and if you want to be effective, you're going to have to be a critical thinker. Competent problem solvers. I think problem solving is a big thing because in class, you're going to have misbehaving kids or a kid who needs more help on something, and you're going to have to be able to solve their problems. And implementing goals, why do you think that is something that is on the list of the effective teachers?
Because then the kids know what they're supposed to be doing, and when the kids know what they're supposed to be doing, they're going to reach to do that because they know when they get it done, then they're finished.
Yeah. Any other comments on that? On implementing goals?
Well, the last time I was at that elementary,
Mhm.
the teacher had the students look over their vocabulary test and write down all the words that they had forgotten.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of like this like goal-centered mentality of we're gonna learn them all, like we're gonna do good.
Yeah.
And it was cool.
Definitely. I think students, if they have a goal that's set, then they have something to reach for, and then they pass it, and then it keeps going. And those building blocks will help them throughout their entire life with setting goals, because you always need goals, not only like, well, on my next test I want to get a 10 out of 10, but having like the ability to say, well, I want to get a 10 out of 10, but I also want to be able to apply these 10 things, So making goals that will help the students. And then it says reorganize resources to work towards goals. So the example of this one was like in a classroom using books to help kids find new vocabulary words, and using flashcards to help them with memorizing spellings or vocab or anything like that. So using your resources in ways that helps kids reach the goals. So if they have a goal of getting 10 out of 10 on a spelling test, use your resources so they can work towards those goals. And then also, like as a teacher, if you are learning along with your students, you're being an effective teacher, not thinking like, oh, I'm the best there can be and I can't learn anything else because I'm all-knowing, because none of that is true. So getting knowledge and gaining things as you go always will help. And then effective teachers make themselves do things. Does anybody have an example of a time when you made yourself do something and it benefited you? Yeah?
Yeah. I made myself write an essay yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I write an essay, I can see myself like doing it faster and getting better.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, it's not too much fun yet for me, but just gotta
It'll
make
get
yourself
there.
fit.
Yeah, exactly. So, and like I play softball, so I make a lot of connections to sports. And I know like the days when I don't feel like giving 100% are the days where I'm not effective at practice. And those are wasted days. And like with conditioning, everyone's like, oh, I don't want to, I hate this, conditioning is stupid. And they just complain and they make it into a negative thing, rather than making yourself do it and do it because you know you'll get better from it. Make yourself do things to push your limits, challenge yourself, and become better. And then they want their students to achieve. And I think, it goes along with pretty much all of these, but effective teachers aren't trying to make your life hard. They're trying to make you succeed. They have a goal for you. They have a goal for each one of their students. And their goal is to make them reach that goal. And then when they reach that goal, keep achieving other goals. Any questions on any of the traits of effective teachers? None? Okay, so this is a picture of an ineffective teacher. What do you see in this picture?
The teacher is just sitting down, not doing anything, not really focused on their students, not really caring if their students are even, doesn't have any goals for today, no goals in what's education at all. Their students, one's painting her nails, one's doing whatever he wants to do. One's like, looks like he's scared or something.
Yeah. So an ineffective teacher looks like this. And here are some of the things that ineffective teachers do. They have busy work just to kill class time. And I know we've all had busy work, and it's the worst, because do you really learn anything from it? No, especially like those book readings where it's like fill in the blanks, and all you do is go to that part of the book and you write it. You don't remember it, you don't learn it, and it's boring. You don't enjoy doing it. Ineffective teachers are also the quitter teachers, or the teachers who are just trying to survive their class. They're not really putting forth the effort to be better, to be a good teacher, or anything like that. And they complain a lot. And I know we all know somebody who complains about everything, right? And does that help you with anything? Like, and then like I was saying with conditioning, like if I can go to practice and I just complain that conditioning is awful and I don't feel like giving my 100% and I give 80, I'm not being effective. And it's gonna show in my next performance. So same with teaching. And another thing that ineffective teachers do is they rely on others to tell them what to do. So, I mean, and you can take the curriculum and just do all of your lessons based off of each of those and just make it as boring as possible. Or you can take the curriculum that obviously we're told that we need to do, but you can make it fun and you can teach it in ways that are hands-on and that are interactive and things that the students will want to do, and without just being told like, well, this is your lesson for today, go do it. They have to be, ineffective teachers aren't like that. They just want people to say, go into the lesson and do this and this and this and you're done. Whereas like an effective teacher wants to, I'm going to do this with the lesson and then this and then we're going to achieve this goals. Do you guys see the differences?
Mm-hmm.
So how to improve student achievement. So obviously we just talked about how being an effective teacher can obviously lead students to success. So Jonah, can I get you to read this bottom part?
The more effective the teacher, the more successful the student.
Alex, can I get you to read this bottom part?
The more effective the teacher, the more successful the student.
Rebecca, can you read this bottom part?
The more effective the teacher, the more successful the student.
Okay, I want you guys to remember this. This is so important. The more effective the teacher, the more successful the student. Is that something that you believe?
I believe it.
And let's take it back to the very first thing that we talked about. If the teacher isn't in class and the class is just here and they're just waiting, nothing is going to get done. So do you believe that the more effective the teacher, the more successful the students? Is that something you believe? Yeah? Awesome. Okay, so then there was a statistics done. So they took kids that were in the 50th percentile. So let's just say like they're even in class, they're not too high, not too low, they're just 50-50 on it. And they put them in an ineffective school and with an ineffective teacher. And they dropped from the 50th percentile to the 3rd percentile. That's a huge difference to go from 50 to 3rd. And they did it with an ineffective school and an ineffective teacher, and the students still dropped. They took an average school and an average teacher, and it stayed at 50. So that tells you if you're an average teacher and you have an average school, your students are going to stay the exact same the entire time. There won't be any ups or any downs, which is better than these. But this is not what we want. We don't want our kids to stay even. We want them to grow. Why be in the 50th percentile when they can reach the 100th, you know? And then an effective school and an effective teacher, they can reach the 96th percentile. So these gaps in between all of the percentiles are called the achievement gaps. And they're just really important to know when you get a student where you want them to be. And you need to know that effective school and an effective teacher will help. So to close these gaps, these are 6 characteristics that schools and teachers need to work on in order to make it effective and effective. So Jonah, can I get you to read the 6?
Keep the focus on learning for all students. Maintain a no excuses attitude. Ooh, I saw that today at Laie Elementary.
Let's hear it.
One of the students was like, but we don't know what that is. And the teacher was like, but you just read it. And then they're like, oh. And then they like looked at the book and they're like, oh yeah, it was this.
Awesome.
Anyway.
And that's true, right? You can see that if teachers and if schools have a no excuses kind of policy, rather than just the student saying, well, I don't know, you do it for me. You know, they're able to push that student to think, well, think back when we did this, and they can get that information instead of just having an excuse and trying to just just move on to the next thing.
Yeah.
Okay?
Use research and data to improve your teacher practices.
So that's just doing your research and knowing what different methods can help and how to improve your classes and making it so the students are always engaged, stuff like that.
Involve everyone in improvement processes.
Why do you think that is one of the characteristics?
Everyone, like all students,
Yeah.
should involve all the students because you don't want to like focus on just a few
Mhm.
and then leave the smart kids
Yeah.
alone or something like that.
Yeah, especially like when I was in elementary school, there was this girl who was a really bad reader. She just like was never taught how to read, and my teacher didn't spend a lot of time. She spent like an even amount of time with all of us, where she could have spent like one extra minute with her, and she might have improved. And at some days, it was like she was the last person that she would help, and oftentimes she wouldn't even get to her because we'd run out of time. So I think involvement is something that you can help, like involve all students, not only so they can improve in learning, but also so they're able to connect socially and stuff like that. Number 5,
Persist through difficulties and setbacks.
does anyone know why this would be important? Number 5.
I think because, like, as a teacher, there's gonna be like a lot of things we're gonna have to deal with,
Mm-hmm.
and we just have to persist through it if we, to get better, kind of thing.
Yeah. And as a teacher, you're going to have a lot of difficulties and a lot of things that are going to set you back and you'll be discouraged. But if you just keep pushing through, it'll all work. And then the last one,
Celebrate accomplishments.
why do you think that would be a good thing? Rebecca, do you have any ideas?
Well, if you did, then you wouldn't really know what an accomplishment was. And you wouldn't like acknowledge it in a way, you just kind of ignore it. And then you wouldn't really be focusing your goals on accomplishments.
Yeah. So obviously these are really important. They're good for both the school to do and the teacher. And I know like at Laggy Elementary they have the leader, like all these posters about being leaders and habits that they can do to improve. And obviously like all of the teachers have done it and they're getting it through to the students. And that's really helping with some of these things to better themselves. Alex, can I get you to read the first fact?
A student who has an effective teacher while being ahead of his peers for at least the next few years. A student who has an ineffective teacher will not be fully corrected for up to 3 years, even if that student has an effective teacher.
So what do you think about that?
I think that that's really true, and especially in like my high school, like when coming from the mainland and then moving to Hawaii, going to their public school education, I feel like my teachers in the mainland were really good at being effective teachers, but some of my teachers in high school here were like when I got to college, I was like, things that I thought were true in high school were like never true. They're like, who taught you that kind of thing? Some of my teachers are like, where'd you learn that? So I think that's really important, and I think that sets back a lot of kids. So then when they get to college, they're not prepared, or when they get to a certain level.
3 years.
Yeah,
It'll
that's
set you back
crazy.
3 years, even if you have a teacher who is effective. That's a big difference. That's 3 years, Think about what an impact that is. So obviously it's important, correct? Thumbs up if it's important.
Thumbs up.
Awesome. Rebecca, will you read the second fact?
The most critical component for improving student achievement and closing achievement gaps is the quality of the teacher.
So that goes back to these 6 things. It's critical for students to improve when these are being met. Does everybody agree on that? Do you see the connections between it?
Yeah, and I think back on the topic of like a student who has a bad teacher is going to be set back for several years even if they get a good teacher.
Yeah.
I think it comes to like, I forgot who it was. It's like Pavlov. we talked about learned helplessness,
Mm-hmm.
about the whole thing about if, I don't know, negative habits stick longer, and like if they can't do something,
They
One
just don't
year.
even try.
yeah, then the following years they're not gonna try as hard.
Yeah, definitely true. And obviously that shows it right there, you know? Okay, so these are 4 things that can help us be effective teachers. Alex, can you read the first one?
Use effective practices focused on student achievement.
So what do you think about that one? Any thoughts or examples or connections?
That we should, like, basically what it says, use practices that are gonna, or like do things that will, okay, do things that will make our students achieve, not make our students fail,
Okay,
or make our students 3 years behind.
yeah, right. Okay, and the second one, Rebecca, will you done?
For innovative planners and exceptional classroom managers.
Do you believe that? Do you have any examples or connections?
Yeah, well, I guess if they're not effective teacher, they'll have no control of their classroom,
Mhm.
that, and that would be.
Yeah, definitely. As a teacher, having classroom management is a big thing. Jonah, will you read the third?
Very skilled critical thinkers and competent problem solvers.
What do you think about that one? Any
Um,
connections or thoughts?
Yeah, I think every situation is gonna come up as a teacher, and
Yeah.
it's one of those like you gotta be able to think on your feet and
Definitely.
fix the problem.
Yeah, and then the last one, as an effective teacher, you need to represent the greatest qualities for the school. And I think that just leads back to the previous 6 and how if you are able to manage your classroom and to set goals, they're learning so much more than just the actual content material. They're learning responsibility, what to do, what not to do. They're learning socially. They're learning in so many different ways. So if you can represent certain qualities that will help, impact the entire school, it'll really make a difference. And then these are just some more pictures of some effective teachers. And then this is the homework that if we have time you can do for later. But you can just write on the back of that paper, but it's basically the same 3 questions. So we can go back to that later. And then we're going to play a game, so if you can bring your chairs up to the middle.
We need this.
Not right now.
Chairs
So you need to sit like a triangle.
Chairs up to the middle. Chairs up to the middle.
Okay.
Like this. That's the Japanese flag.
Well, it's a pink circle, so that's all we have. This is a button, okay?
Oh, I thought it was
So,
a
like-
Japanese flag.
The button that you click. So I'm gonna read you a question. Each one of these are 1-point questions unless I say otherwise. And then the first person, the first person to hit the button gets the point, okay?
Can we chicken?
So,
Yeah, let's go. Winner has
Okay, ready?
It's McDonald's. Right here.
okay, first question. True or false? Student success depends on how effective the teacher is.
Yes.
Oh gosh, you did that so fast. Okay,
Let's go.
true or false? What the teacher knows and can do is not the most significant factor for student achievement.
False.
Oh my gosh, come on guys, beat Alex.
Wait, what was that question?
What the teacher knows and can do is not the most significant factor in student achievement. Like, so how
So
the
He's
teacher,
like,
what
you're-
the teacher knows and can do is the most significant factor?
yeah, what a teacher can do is significant.
Not-
Yeah?
Don't you think I'm away from me?
Okay, students with an ineffective teacher won't be fully corrected for how long?
3 years.
Did you hear it first?
Yes.
Okay.
She played volleyball.
I literally practice at home just with the button.
Okay, this one's for 2 points.
Oh.
Name something you learned today.
I learned how to be an effective teacher and how behind students are if we're not prepared enough to teach them.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, Chelsea.
True or false?
Getting ready for our comeback.
Yeah.
An effective teacher, or sorry, true or false? An ineffective teacher has classroom management.
An ineffective teacher has classroom management?
Yeah.
False.
Yeah.
I was like, for a second I had to reread it, sorry.
Okay.
When's your comeback coming?
It's coming.
Answer this one. What kind of teacher? Wait, be ready. What kind of teacher uses busy work?
An ineffective teacher.
Hit the button, Jonah. Thank you.
Got it.
Gosh,
I gave him that one.
I gave.
How many more questions are there?
I don't know. Will you see how much longer I have? For how long I've done it?
John, go look at the camera.
Started like 10 minutes ago.
You got 30 minutes and 51 seconds.
30?
Oh yeah.
30?
Okay, last question.
Whoa, the button now.
Question. This is for how many points? This is for 7 points.
No! What the heck?
Just kidding. This one's for 3 points. Name one thing an effective teacher does.
Go, smart.
Ah!
What an effective teacher does?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were finishing. No, I pressed it first. They make sure they set goals.
They set goals. That's
They set
one.
goals. They set
Name
goals.
3 things.
Okay,
Name
they
three.
set goals.
Okay.
They don't have busy work,
Okay.
and they are always prepared. They always have
Jonah,
a
you
planner.
answer with 4 things they do. I'll take away her 3 points.
Okay.
No!
Has
Tell
classroom
Jack.
management.
Yes.
An effective teacher is a planner.
Yes.
An effective teacher.
No.
And an effective teacher wants student achievement.
2 points. That's good. You got one.
You got 2 points. You looked at your paper.
Do you want one more
Effective teachers
question?
don't
2
cheat.
points.
Do you want one more
Effective
question?
teachers play win.
No, we don't. I win.
Okay, that's our total.
Okay.
Awesome job.
It was a close call.
Amen. Someone push
Wait.
pause or stop the video. Stop the
Close game.
Oh, close game. Good job.
Not fair, she plays volleyball.